Oh, he's back. I've gone again. Not sure if many Facebook people are going to watch. I've done a quite a long live on Vipassana. Just got back from Vipassana. But yeah, I want to get information on this, and it's definitely for my YouTube crowd. On next topic. Who's the keen bunny today, huh? Yeah, but this one's a powerful one that I learned. A powerful reference experience that kind of shocked me a little. That I'm going to talk to you about. That I don't think many in the I think people find interesting, depending on the level of geekiness. This is quite interesting information, and it's very if you're not into therapy, you believe in distilled water. That's a very cool information here. Also, if you are into urine therapy, this is also true information. It might upset you a little, but it's also the truth. And I don't really care about upsetting people because the truth's the truth, right? So it's not really about upsetting people. The truth's the truth. Right. So where to start? We know that fresh urine is structured water, right? And it definitely is. Structured water being water that we say is alive. What does it structured water really mean? It means it's negatively charged. It's got a magnet to it. It's got a magnetism. When something's structured, it's got a magnetism. When it's got magnetism, the correct negatively charged magnetism, it pulls out anything shitty in the body, which is positively charged. And that's actually true. So that's structured water. That's fresh urine. And aged urine is super structured. I don't want to talk about aged urine. So fresh urine is good. It's good to have structured water. Now, the criticism people say with distilled water for a machine, and I understand this argument and it's true, but hear me out to the end and you'll be surprised at what I'm going to tell you. Actually, the power of distilled water when you use magnets under it and why, compared to fresh urine, even faster fresh urine. So, fresh urine is structured because your body is structured, because it's negatively charged. It's kind of like a weak magnet, I call it. Aged urine is a very strong magnet, very super structured, and there's no limit to how structured something can get. That's great news for aged urine and other things. Fresh urine is structured. Now, fasting fresh urine is even more structured. Now, distilled water is good, and we know that urine is distilled water, right? Now, people criticize, hear this out, people criticize distilled water from a machine. And we still recommend people drink it. It definitely doesn't leach minerals. Let me clarify that point. Drinking distilled water from a machine does not pull out anything bad in the body that should not be there. If you think that, you're an idiot and you're just not drunk enough of it, and you're brainwashed. You believe in Dr. McCullough. You don't believe in your own reference experiences. You don't believe in trying it out, and you don't trust your own body. You've no idea and no fucking clue. So don't worry about that, leaching that shit. Now here's the argument that is true about machine-made distilled water. Machine-made distilled water is unstructured. So at 0 ppm is pure water. There's no contaminants in the water, 0 ppm from distilled. But it is unstructured, okay? Now that is a problem. That distilled water, straight out of a machine that's not been structured. So it's just unstructured distilled water, straight out of the machine. Not done anything to it, not even done in the magnets or anything. Unstructured, no sunlight, no vortex. It's unstructured. It's a problem because it's 0 ppm, but it's still negatively charged, but it's very weak. It's a very weak magnet. However, that weak magnet is still going to pull out stuff. So it's still good. Still good. This is a complicated subject. I don't want to lose you here. You need to mind to rewatch this one. I'll put it up on YouTube too. So there's levels. There's levels to structurization of water. Right? Okay, let's explain this simply. There's levels to structurization of water. Structure is everything to the game of water. And water is a very powerful medicine. By the way, in my opinion, water is more powerful medicine than food. Every single day. Liquid is more powerful than food. Yeah. And the more structured your liquid you take in is, the more powerful. Oh, another side note. Your fruits and your vegetables have structured water in them. Just like your fresh urine. The sunlight structures the fruits and the vegetables on the ground. The sunlight structures them. They get structured because they're real. They're alive by the sun. And then they become, the water inside them is structured. So that means that the fruits also have a negatively charged, it's a weak magnet, but it's not as weak as, it's a weak magnet. It's still a magnet. It's still pull. Brilliant. Love it. It's structured water. But it's not unstructured like the distilled water machine. So that's the problem. Distilled water from a machine. No, it doesn't leach minerals. Yes, it does pull, and it's brilliant. I highly recommend distilled water from a machine. I drink that too. But here's the thing. It's a very weak magnet. It's still a magnet. It still do things if you're a beginner at health, but you don't want to do it. You don't want to stop there. You want to. The key to water gain is this. Structurization of water. Getting it more and more structured. Whatever water drinking, especially distilled water, getting it more and more structured. So, I've had experiences now with Vipassana that shocked me Certainly, and I'm pretty sure if you really follow everything I'm saying, it will shock you too. What I'm saying is, what the header in the top, that I know this from my direct experience, and I'll give you a direct experience of how I know it, that fasting fresh urine is less structured than than 0 ppm water that I make from a machine that I put under a magnet for a certain length of time. That's key. For a certain length of time. Right? Let me show you something. I've done the experiments for myself to try and pull. I've done the experiments on this to try and pull in enemas. So I compared fasting fresh urine, because I was wanting to get when I was eating the food at the past as well as fasting, I wanted to clean my colon out and have a syringe, enema syringe. So I wanted to compare the pulling power. Hear this. I wanted to compare the pulling power of putting fresh fasted urine up my bum, right, to get the junk out of my trunk, to get the bowels moving, the rectum, any feces stuck in it, and there was feces stuck in there. Obviously, my game wasn't too strong, and I wanted to compare that with distilled water from a machine. That I bought a distiller with, you know, those 0 water ones. I bought a 0 water distilled one, so you don't have electricity. They're very quick to do in the 0 ppm. I also have got my magnetic water coaster, which is really powerful. Right. So what I did was I knew that more structured my distilled water gets, the more powerful it gets. I know this. It tastes different when I put it under a water coaster for a long time, even for 40 minutes. But I know the longer it gets under the magnets, the longer I put them under the magnets, the distilled water, the more structured it gets. So the experiment was this. In the mornings, 50 hours, I get this, I did 3-day fasts, dry fasts pretty much, very little fresh urine. I did 3-day dry fasts, and 50 and 60 hours into these fasts in the morning, when I got up at 4 o'clock, we were made to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning for meditation. 4:30 starts, wake up call 4. I would try fresh, fasted urine, which is very high quality, by the way. It's got a lot of nutrients in it, very powerful, a lot of good nutrients, a lot of melatonin, because it's very deep into a fast, right? Very, very powerful urine. But here's the thing that surprised me a little. It didn't pull out much from my colon. The water came out. It stayed in for a while, and just didn't pull out any feces. And I'm surprised, and comparing it with the next experiment was with the distilled water I showed you, 0 ppm, unstructured. But when I went to bed at 9 p.m, I would put it in the water coaster. I put it under the magnet. I've got the strong 12,000 Gauss magnet coaster I showed you. I put it under there till 4 o'clock in the morning. So 7 hours, which is a long time. I put 7 hours under a magnetic coaster, 0 ppm. This is great news, by the way, if you're not into urine therapy. Better news that if you're not into urine therapy. This might hurt the ego of people that are into urine therapy. I have no ego. I love it. I do, but I can lose it because this is the truth. My truth, and what works in my body, I know would do exactly the same for you. It's exactly the same. Alright? So, what I'm saying is like 50, 60 hours fresh urine up the bum didn't pull out much, didn't clean my colon out as much as when I did the same with the magnetic coaster, 7 hours exactly under the magnetic coaster. I'm a geek, I calculate everything. Of 0 ppm distilled water, I put it up my bum, and I could feel straight away that I wanted to go to the toilet, and then when I did go to the toilet, a lot came out. It pulled out a lot of crap. I did this not once, 3 times, and each time I did the comparison with fresh, fasted urine versus 0 ppm, unstructured distilled water that had now been structured for 8 hours, 7 hours in under a magnetic coaster, and all of a sudden that distilled water was now more powerful. How do I know? Because it pulled more feces out. The power of something up your bum or around your body, the power of the medicine is determined in a way, not really of minerals, it's about the structurization of the water. And let me tell you, 0 ppm distilled water, if you start structuring your distilled water, and there's many ways to do it. You can do many ways and stack them. You don't just have to do a magnetic coaster. You can put it outside in the sunlight. That structures it too. Any sunlight, especially sunrise, sunset. Oh, especially sunrise, sunset. So imagine if you put your 0 ppm distilled water in the sunrise, sunset sun, and then put it under a magnet coaster too. Woo! You're going to structure even more. What I'm saying is you can make super strong distilled water, super structured distilled water, in much the same way our own aged urine does that anyway. But if you're not into urine therapy, this is good news. You can actually have really powerful medicine when you start focusing in on structuring your water, your distilled water, or any type of water. You structure reverse osmosis, or any water you've got. Although I use distilled, I'd recommend reverse osmosis too, or whatever, Berkeley's or whatever. The structurization is really key to water game and really key to your health and energy. And it pulled out much crap from my. It told me a lot. Why is it putting out more feces, and why is the fresh urine not? Because the fresh urine is structured, but it's just not as structured. It's the truth. It's not. Aged urine, however, pulls out a hell of a load, even a week old. And why does aged urine pull out so much feces and mucoid plaque? You know, look at Jessie's post. She's great at the moment. She's been for a while now and focusing on mucoid plaque and aged urine enemas. What is the truth about what is the actual truth? Look, guys, I don't want to repeat myself, but why did I write another book where I absolutely nailed my latest book, Aged Urine, the sequel? I nailed for the communities, and still no one's really caught on with it. There's so many great information out there on aged urine. The main reason why aged urine is so powerful is because it's uber super structured. I am correct. When you put it up the bum, aged urine, the reason why it pulls out loads of feces and it pulls out loads of mucoid plaque and kills parasites left, right and centre when you put aged urine up your bum is the main reason, the only reason really, is because it's uber super structured water. How many times do I have to say this before the urine therapy people start waking up? I've nailed it. I've only written the first 2 books on aged urine. I fucking nailed the process for you guys. Now just take what I'm doing and, you know, step it up and go deeper with the structurization. Let's start focusing on it. Gerald Pollack's right. It's all about... Gerald Pollack talks about this. It's the 4th phase of water. That's the magic of water. And water loses its structure when it goes through a tap. Tap water's filthy anyway, but it's not structured. It's not got sunlight. How do you structure water? How do you structure water? Sunlight, magnetism. Sunlight, magnetism, and movement. Vortexing. Vortexing is another thing I haven't even got to. I'm going to have to look into technologies that people, biohackers, talk about vortexing the water. Structurization is absolutely huge to water game. And that's the moral of this video and information, that aged urine is super structured water. Fresh urine is structured. It's cool. Fasting urine is cool, but it's not that structured, and you can make structured water easier with just buying magnets or putting it outside in the sunlight, just normal water. It could be more powerful than urine. More powerful! Do you hear what I'm saying? And I love urine therapy, and urine therapy is so fucking powerful, but you can just have plain distilled water that's more powerful if you just structure it. You focus on structuring. Structuring is vortexing, look into that, and that's a future one. I think that's kind of hard. The easy ones is magnets. Buy magnets. Buy the magnetic coaster. Type in magnetic coaster on Amazon and use that. Oh, another one. Another one. Oh, whoa. How can I forget this one? New one for me. Another one to structure water. Tensor rings. Crystals structure water. Put your crystals around your distilled water, around your urine, to age them quicker. That's why it ages urine quicker. Your distilled water, your reverse osmosis, whatever water you drink, put tensor rings. Tensor technology. Tensor rings are cheap. You know, I know a lady that sells them called Violet. She's very beautiful. Her name is varietenergytools.com. I recommend her products a lot. She's great. She puts a lot of love into them. They are high vibration tools anyway. I put this under my bottle. You can put this to charge up your water. So you can put crystals around it to structure it. Put tensor ring. Buy technology. Tensor ring technology is cheap. Buy magnets. Put it under sunlight, which is free. Start structuring your water. That's the moral of the story. And you can get more powerful than your own fresh urine. But remember that fresh urine is powerful too. It's structured water. And it's all about, the game of water, in a nutshell, is all about structurization. It's not about, there's no nutrients in my distilled water. Isn't that dangerous? Do I need to add some salt to my, do I need to add some minerals to my distilled water? That is wrong focus. You know why that's wrong focus? Because it's not the right game. The game of water is structurization. That's it. It's not about minerals. You think it's about minerals, you're an idiot. I know way more than you, man. Like, it's not. It's about pulling... Good luck. All the minerals in the world, your water, if you put that up your bum, it won't do a good job in enema if it's not structured. That's the game. Structurization is what gives it its magnetism. When something becomes more structured, when the water becomes structured, in a nutshell, it becomes more electric, and it becomes more magnetic. And you are electric and magnetic. So when you're electric and magnetism, you thrive on electricity and magnetism. You've got that inside you. Your level of electricity and magnetism is dependent on how healthy you are. You can make yourself more healthy if you put more electricity and magnetism inside your body. You can ground, that makes you more magnetic. You can fast, that makes you more magnetic electric. You can get sunlight, that makes you more electric and magnetic. And another great one is you can start drinking water that is electric and magnetic, and that's called structured water. And there's no limit to how structured water can get. How do I know that? Aged urine has told me that one. Because as the aged urine gets older and older and older, it gets more powerful. Hear what I'm saying? There's no limit to the end of this structuralization game. Imagine if you took your jug of distilled water that you've made from a machine, you put it outside in the sunlight 24 hours a day. And by the way, with an open cover, because it doesn't matter, because rainwater is distilled water anyway, you don't have to worry about that shit. You put it outside in the sunlight 24 hours under a magnet, and you had a vortex after it, you put some crystals around it and a tensor ring. All going, another one, all going, energy. Can you imagine what kind of, and do it for 1 day, 2 days, and drink it later? One day, leave it 24 hours, or even just sunrise for 3 hours? Can you imagine how powerful that is? Yeah, you'll see. And by the way, this is another one where you don't believe me, try it out, try these experiments out for yourself. Go and, if you don't normally put it out in sunlight, go and put it out in 2 hours of sunrise or sunset sunlight, or even the midday sun, but especially sunrise sunlight. Go and buy a magnet and put it under there for a couple of hours, then try experiments yourself like I do. Put it under a magnet for 5 hours, and try the same water for 10 hours. Try the same water overnight. Try for 24 hours, and let me know how each goes, and see what it does to your colon, see what it does to your blood, see what it does to your energy levels. Huge observation you'll make is, the more structured the water you drink, the more energy it'll give you, the more your vibration shifts. And on that note, thank you very much for listening. I appreciate you all. Hope you got some good value from this second live I done today after the Passing one. I just got to get the information out there, and it's a very exciting discovery of mine, and yeah, I hope it goes well. And let me know, message me if you have any problems or any testimonies about what I'm saying with structured water. I'd love to know. I'm going to buy Gerald Pollack's book on structured water, The 4 Phases of Water, next month. It's a very key part of my what I want to get good knowledge on. I already know aged urine is super structured water. It's the main reason it works. So it's very key that I focus on it, and I know it's powerful, and I know it's the truth about water. It's not about minerals, vitamins. I'm not lacking or anything. It's about pulling power, electricity, magnetism of water, of which, when it gets more structured, you become more electric and magnetic. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you all. Have a lovely day, and last but not least, let's not worry about coronavirus, guys. What a joke. I can't even go to the cinema. How annoying is that? Everything's closed down. There's no gatherings, and I don't know where it is like in America, but in the UK it's just crazy. It's madness, and I can't do anything now. Everyone's in their houses, and no one's out and about, and everyone's scared. So nothing to be scared of. And at the end of the day, you die. You don't think consciousness. It doesn't really matter. You come back, repeat the cycle. Who cares? It's all fun. It's all fun and games. It's fun though, isn't it? So, all right, peace.